The aplastic anemia, it really changed my life in a negative way at first. Probably took about a year to get it under control. They put me on the cyclosporin, they put me on the prednisone, the ATG shot. I used to get really mad at my parents, used to get mad at the doctors, because at my teenage years, I was just so caught up on just still being in high school. I wanted to, go to school, play sports, and that's all the things I was worried about. I wasn't thinking about my health at that age. One time I spent the whole summer in a hospital, and I didn't get to go outside. The doctors wouldn't let me just walk down the hall and go outside.
So he felt like this couldn't be happening to me. So not only did he question his parents and the doctors, he questioned God and say, why do I have to go through this? He explained it at that moment. He would rather not deal with it and be gone if he felt like that was the consequence of it. So if it was going to cause him his life, am I right or am I?
You're right.
He preferred not to even deal with it. But then he realized, you know what, why am I throwing in the towel? If it was meant to take me out, I would be gone already. But once he was able to understand that, hey, this is my reality, this is something, cards that I was dealt, something that I have to live with, he learned how to not view it as a death sentence, but to find life through it.
Because the main thing is the mind. And if you let it take control of your mind, then how can you help yourself to get better? I saw a lot of younger patients, or patients my age back then, that were going through worse situations than me. So I started to look at it differently, and I realized that I actually have it really, really good. Being in the hospital at a young age, I had nothing to do. I was in the hospital admitted so many times, just spending time in there. So one of the main things I got to do was just spend time with God and just think about a lot of things that were most important. One of the things that I took for granted back then was spending time with family. Also, just, I would say, staying online, researching about what I had, just staying active, staying busy. I had to accept that responsibility to take care of my health, and that was until I got maybe around, I think I was 14 when I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia. It wasn't until, I could probably say, until I was about 23. When I was diagnosed with the PNH, that's when everything in my life went downhill. I had kidney failure. Both my kidneys were a failure. The insurance took me out of a doctor that I was seeing that was really, really good, and put me with another doctor that was in network with them. And I had a bad experience because that doctor didn't know anything about PNH. He only knew about cancer. And during that time, I was in a real dark space in life. But when I got out of it, during that time is when I actually called the foundation, and they actually helped me out and get the drug Solaris. And when I got that, things started to take a turn. And then that's when I end up, I'll say, maybe like the next year, I end up meeting my wife.
When we came together as one, his sickness became my sickness. And I think that in itself gave him life. Where he lives every single day and acknowledge the birds and the bees. He loves the squirrels. And his spirit, because of it, is more beautiful to me than anyone I've ever imagined.
Just recently, I found I had blood clots. I found out I had them around in my chest, around my port. But later on, I had more tests done, and I found out I had them in my legs. Then they did more tests and found out I had them in my head. So, and it all was chronic. I ended up going to see doctors in the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, and that actually doctor there, he really was really good, and he really went in and put stents into my chest, which relieved the flow from my head, because the head was starting to, like, in my neck and head was starting to swell. So he went in and operated, and he's a really great doctor. And I haven't had really any more problems with clotting from then on.
You have to choose to fight through it and say, this is not going to overtake me. But I'm going to choose to live. I'm going to choose wellness. I'm going to choose health. And we're going to make changes to help assist that and supplement that. So we eat better. We make sure that our mindset is always well and healthy. We make sure we continue to pray and seek God's favor, because at the end of the day, God's in control.